Welcome everyone back to Garb Car Garage. Thanks for tuning in.
We're doing something a little bit different today. We're gonna stay out of the garage and we're gonna do a 5+1 video.
We could say 6, but we don't because we want you to do math.
Yeah, we not only do we entertain, but we educate. So this is the top 5+1 things to consider before starting a project car. Now, the number one thing you need to consider before starting a project car is
money. Money, 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 lots of money.
If you have money that is burning a hole in your pocket that you have nothing else to do with, you, my friend, can start a project car. Now, we're not saying that everyone must have thousands upon thousands of dollars at their disposal. You can build your car to whatever budget you have, but it doesn't matter if you're building the cheapest car for a Cars and Coffee or building a show car for SEMA. You're gonna have to dedicate a lot of money to that build.
Well, and this is the difference. If your build is as much as Garbra is, it's not really a build. It won't cost you thousands upon thousands. But if your plan is to do anything that's half decent, it's gonna cost you thousands.
So that's our number one. Money, money, money. You need it, save it, you're gonna spend it. Cars are nothing but money pits. And 99.9% of the time, you will never get your money back out of it. Okay, so we're gonna move on to point number 2. Project cars, in addition to money, require a lot of time.
There's a lot of dedication and hard work that when installing parts and taking care of your car, just even general maintenance of it, it takes a lot of time. And you have to make sure you're able to dedicate that amount of time to take care of the car, or else you're never going to be driving your car. You can have all the parts sitting in your basement and never touch them if you don't have the time to put them on the car.
Yeah, this is the only time where money can be wasted, is if you just buy the parts and never install them. So even having all the money in the world, if you don't have the time to either install them yourself or get them installed, then this is where money becomes a non-factor. Time is as important, if not more important than money, because you can save for money, but you can't get any more time. You have to look at it as if everything you're gonna do is gonna take 2 to 3 times the amount you think it's supposed to take.
Yep, especially when you're working with Dave.
Almost always. If there's something that can't be broken, I will break it.
Now me and the mad scientist gotta rip apart the block and replace the piston rings you fried.
In addition to also time to perform the jobs, is you need to think of the time to get the part. You have the time for the car to either sit on a hoist, the car to not have those parts in. If you're looking for this car to be your daily driver, as well as your project, this is going to be a huge factor in it. You can't have that thing up on jack stands come Monday morning when you got to go to work. Anytime
that you try to put a part on, things always go wrong, like we've talked about. There's always, even if it's a direct bolt-on, there's always problems. Like you can look at the CB7 intake. It was a direct fit, and it just never works out that way. So you have to allot yourself that, but it's a lot easier to have a daily driver in which you kind of leave alone, and then a separate project car which you can pour your time and your money into and not be concerned about making it to work Monday to pay your bills and to save money for your parts.
Yep. I think that's pretty much all we need to say on time, and I think it's time to move out to point number 3. All right, so on to point number 3.
We're going to talk about what Dave doesn't have. Just joking.
Let's go to a certain extent. Point number 3 is skill.
Nunchuck skills, bow hunting skills, computer hacking skills. And
to be able to work successfully on a project car, there is a certain level of skill that you're gonna need. Now, skill can be acquired by time, but there has to be a basic level of understanding of how things go together, how things come apart to be able to start a project.
Obviously, YouTube, I think, is a huge asset to you. The internet nowadays is just full of information in which people have taken pictures, made videos, and written out exactly how to do things and how not to do things. So definitely just submerge yourself with information so you know the job before you get into it, know the problems, know common issues where, say, like a Volkswagen strut, if you're going to take the strut out, the top bolts always strip. So you have to know how to cut them out. And just, there's common problems that happens with these cars, and then you want to make sure you have new bolts to put in the new struts. It's just little things like that you need to make sure you're well versed, you have all the parts, and I think that's a part of the skill, is knowing what you need and equipping yourself to be successful in the job.
And that will wrap up point number 3 and move us on to point number 4.
Number 4 is resources. There's nothing more important than having a good set of tools and a good place in which to work on your car.
If all that's in your toolbox is an adjustable wrench and a basic set of 3/8 metric sockets and a Harbor Freight 3/8 ratchet, I mean, you're going to be able to do some things, but not very much. Now, we're not saying by all means you've got to go out and chase down the Mack truck and spend $10,000 on every tool he's got on there. Far from it. But a basic quality set of hand tools. In this day and age, you should be working with some impacts.
Yeah, I know.
A 3/8 impact driver is going to be a lifesaver. So that's something that, I mean, pretty much, you look at any professional toolbox, they've got one. If you've got a little bit more money to spend, 1/2-inch impact driver is going to be
so good. It's so good to have
Wh-
impact guns.
Whether you've got air or even just the electric has come so far now. I mean, we exclusively pretty much on the job use electric tools. I mean, there's still some pneumatic that we'll use, but electric has gone.
It's taken over.
It's taken over, and you can easily find them on Amazon. If you're in Canada, Canadian Tire. In the States, I'm sure there's lots of places that you can go and find DeWalt, Milwaukee.
So I think that's the importance of that. I think that's why we put that as number 4. Definitely something to keep in mind. Use your resources. Use all of them and use them wisely.
Yeah. All right, so that'll conclude 4. That brings us on to number
5.
5.
Nate,
Yep.
what's 5?
Space.
Spacio.
Space.
So this one I'm going to thank my mother for, as I currently have many cars parked in the farmer's field.
Mama Newell is a saint.
Space is huge. You need to be able to keep your car somewhere.
Your car and your parts.
Yep. Yeah, everywhere. And it's always best to keep them out of the weather. You don't want to take your brand new, say, coilovers and just put them out in the backyard and let the rain and whatnot saturate them and soak them and start to corrode them. It just creates problems down the road. You want to keep them until they get installed in the car in a cool, dry place. It's well taken care of. You don't want your car just to sit in dirt and moisture just come up and rot the underside of the car. You want to keep it on concrete's the best, but even just a gravel driveway is better. You need a place to put your car, especially if it's not your daily driver. You need to be able to have a spot for your regular car, but also have a spot to park your project.
Yeah. A lot of, when you're talking, I'm going to do something, they're not all as small as a box like this. I mean, you're talking brake rotors. You're going to have a box like this, pads. It's for just an entire brake job, you're going to have a stack of parts this big, just for a 4-wheel. That's just brakes. You add more things into it, you're just going to get bigger, and you got to store it properly.
Yep.
Like Kyle's saying, you're not dumping your $1,200 coilovers in a field. You don't want rust forming all over your brand new parts before you even get to install them. So space to store these things is almost as important as the time and money to buy them, because the only thing worse than not having money to spend on parts is having money to spend on parts and then them rotting away on a shelf. So project car, space, organization, all of this is very important. Unless you're going to buy only what you can install, which, I mean, if that's what you've got, if that's what your space allows, that's what you got to do.
Yep.
But most of us like to, hey, that's on sale. I know I'm not going to do that now, but that might be in phase 5 of my build. Parts generally don't go bad, so it's not a bad idea to stock up on stuff as it becomes available at a good price.
Yeah.
I think that pretty much wraps up space, and we're going to move on to the Plus One.
Wait. Would it be +1?
Plus,
You
what
want-
size am I plus? Am I one? Or are you plus?
I don't know.
Okay. Well,
Math. 6.
six,
There you
not
go.
not six, plus one. So, plus one is our plus one is kind of a cliche joke in the auto industry, or it has become that much. But I honestly think Vin Diesel said it best.
I don't have friends. I got family.
Family. Now, family doesn't necessarily mean your direct family. Show me the best built project car and I'll show you a team behind it that helped build it. Not one man can build one car. It takes people. It takes
a team.
Yeah, it is always a team. There's
There's a community of car people that are working together.
from the smallest race car that at minimum has a 2 to 3 to 4 man team to Formula One teams with 300 to 1,000 employees. Building one car is not a one person job. It never has been, never will be. If you don't have a good support structure around you, if you don't have friends, if you don't have family that are going to be there to lend a hand, and you say, here, can you hold this? Can you help me with this? Can you help me jack this car? Can you drive me to this place? Even just the emotional support of, yeah, man, you're going to get this done. You don't give up on this thing. You'll get through it. It's really important. You can't do these things on your own.
Yeah, or the kick in the butt of you dragging your heels to go work on it to just kick you in the butt and get you say, you need to go do some work on your car because you're the slowest man of the group and you need to pick up the pace.
It's a labor of love, and there's, again, more than one person behind every car
Yep.
out there. So I think that's touched on family. I think that touched on our
Family.
5+1.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments if there's anything you think we've missed. Do you disagree with us? Do you agree with us? Maybe we're wrong. I don't think so. But
Yeah, let us know what you think in the comments.
Yeah,
what top 5+1 do you think should be for a project car?
or shout out to a person that's been helping you with your project.
Yeah.
We'd love to hear it, or link to any of your videos, or we pretty much read all the comments that are on there anyway. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Really, this is pretty much our most heartfelt video that we've done so far.
Yeah. Thanks for liking. Thank you for subscribing. We appreciate that.
Yeah, if you made it to the end, we appreciate every single one of you that takes the time out of your day to watch these videos. We really do.
Yeah.
We have a lot of fun making them, and we hope you have as much fun watching them as well. So I'd say cut to B-roll, but I'm pretty sure this video is 90% B-roll. So
Cut to Nasty Nate! His smiling face. Timmy!
we'll see y'all next time.
Peace.